Hi, my name is Hailey Contine. I currently teach English 4 and English 4 College Prep here at Prosper High School, and I also serve as our English department chair as well as our campus collaborative team coordinator, where I work with various CTMs and PLCs across campus to help incorporate and utilize the PLC process. In this informal observation that you're about to see, you will see just a small segment of a recent professional development session that I led with my colleague Emily. And this session was at our district-wide curriculum day, where all of the English content area teachers were over at Rock Hill High School, which is another high school in our district. And we attend multiple sessions where each presenter has a chance to share a strategy that they are fond of, something they've created, perhaps a new strategy for teaching, improving discourse, all of our campus and district-wide initiatives. And in my presentation with my colleague Emily, who is also my former co-team lead, we presented on a new way to incorporate Jigsaw into your ELAR classroom. So what that looked like for us, that you won't necessarily see in the video. I did trim it down to just a introduction on student discourse versus sharing, because that is one of our campus-wide goals and something that I noted in my plan of action. But in this presentation, we did get to a point where we were speaking on not just incorporating Jigsaw in the normal start in your home group, branch out to this new group, come back and repeat that process, rinse and repeat. Instead, we focused on Jigsaw Reimagined, so a new way to incorporate discourse in the Jigsaw pattern. Emily was amazing and created a template that makes it much easier for teachers to group their students. I spoke predominantly on how to elevate the discourse that's happening in your Jigsaw groups, as opposed to just running through a list of questions and getting down to a very basic surface level conversation among students. We also discuss how to make sure that this is largely student led in the spirit of improving student discourse, which goes hand in hand with my PASL topic. We want to make sure that students are prepped and equipped and prepared to lead discussions from Jigsaw Reimagined with their own groups. Very little teacher guidance needed, which is great. Like I said, this goes hand in hand with my plan of action, which has much to do with being in the classrooms and strategizing and helping teachers strategize, coaching, mentoring, and continually learning. So this is perfect for my plan of action, as already mentioned, as well as my PASL. This is going to be a shorter segment just because we were moving a great amount during this PD session. So I wasn't necessarily able to capture the entire presentation just because I wasn't really in one or two places the entire time. But hopefully this first glimpse is sufficient for you to see me leading a professional development. This is also, I believe, my sixth curriculum day presentation. Typically, I have been asked to present on a certain thing. This time around, I felt very lucky to discuss Jigsaw Reimagined with my friend, with my colleague, with my co-team lead or former co-team lead, her and I have developed this pretty extensively together. So this was great as far as presentation goes. I hope you enjoy the segment that you're about to see. And yeah, that's that. Thanks so much for watching. I am too.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started for today. Hopefully you had a nice lunch. If you haven't grabbed a little number from the bowl or signed in, go ahead and do that as we're kind of doing some intros. My name is Emily Contine. This is Hailey Contine. You're both at PHS. I teach English 2, Humanities, and then ESL.
And I have English 4 on level, college prep, and I'm our department head.
She's incredible. So today we're going to talk about Jigsaw a little bit. Raise your hand if you have used Jigsaw, know what it is, hate it, love it. Okay. So we've got some new people and who haven't used it before, maybe don't know our real vet. Sounds exciting.
Alright guys, so we are going to be doing some chatting, some movement here in the next little bit. So we got to warm up a little bit, wake up, I guess, from lunch. So you guys have, some of us, a handful of Hershey Kisses out on our tables. Now those are obviously for you to eat, as you should. As long as you can tell what color the wrapper was, I don't care what you do with it. There's also some extras, obviously, for snacking because we need that. If you have a purple Hershey Kiss, so if you just want to like grab from that pile, if you have a purple Hershey Kiss, here in a second, we're just going to ask that you kickstart your group's conversation with your all-time favorite lesson, favorite unit, favorite standard to teach. That one lesson that stands out is like, no matter what I'm teaching, I know I'm doing that thing every year because it always hits. If you have a blue Hershey Kiss, we'd love to hear a little bit about your experience with Jigsaw so far. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is there an assignment or a lesson or a task that you use it with often? What's your struggle with it? What do you like about all the things? Okay, then our last step is if you have a pink Hershey Kiss, what's your favorite way to work in discourse? Okay, whatever that definition means to you, we're going to talk about it here in just a few. But what's a way that you incorporate discourse into your classes? Okay, we'll take about 3 minutes. Once you wrap up your conversation, if you want to just kind of share out haphazardly with the rest of those topics, that would be great. And as always, those are for you to eat as well. Okay, we'll take about 2-3 minutes and we'll come back together.
Okay. Purple.
My favorite is
Yeah.
What's the number?
I didn't know that.
No, it's that's our students.
I would say kind of sad what sometimes like switching it into formal, like I just like love it. But also how we enjoy the flies, I really like that. Like
I tell guys that history and English are like this. They're cousins. They're intimately related, non-fiction.
Oh,
I have no experience.
Okay, great. Yes. You don't? Well, then speak to the third one, because I feel like you're gonna. Yeah.
The my favorite way of working discourse is to ask students questions, and when they answer them, I try and make them, they feel like they're wrong. I feel like they can't explain the students.
Yeah.
Force them to have them explain themselves in a way.
So that's my
Be the worst.
I make it shut it.
Yep.
I was going to.
I'm similar enough. I don't really do a lot of if I'm doing this course, it's kind of more. Oh yeah. I'm supposed to push out. I choose to like share. But now I'm scrambling because I want to teach every day. It was a lot of work. It was
Also, because I think people actually have like participation goals, like that they have to seek out and find as part of their day.
That's nice. I would love to have a grade like that.
It's 10% of their semester.
No, we did it. Or did we do it your year too? Odyssey. Yeah. I think we did it literally, and we taught it. It was like non-linear, linear. For real? No, it was called core. But we did Romeo and Juliet quarter 2. Quarter 4. We have the right to kick her out. Yeah, it was like character foil.
Actually, I feel like we just keep running in like Alright, y'all, we're going to go ahead and pause that conversation and move on. We're going to come back to those 3 ideas towards traditional jigsaw looks like, what you guys might already be familiar with.
So in a traditional jigsaw, usually step one is, I usually call it round one with my kids. I know you call it home group, right? Where you split kids up, and usually how I've done in PD, I've done with my classes before. Each group has a different article, text, topic, right? Something that they are going to eventually teach to another group. So that's step one. They are becoming an expert on that one topic, on that one text. That they're all linked, right? But like very much segmented. Whereas in step two, they break up and then they move to a new group and share what they've learned, teach it to someone else. And that is totally great. I think that has its place, as does kind of everything. If you want to look at the research, it is really helpful, especially for teaching very content-heavy things. In the English classroom, oftentimes though, we are kind of going for more higher level like discussion and like thinking and application and analysis. So our goal today is to talk more about jigsaw in that frame, rather than jigsaw as a way to like teach a skill, more of how can we get deeper with that topic.
So we asked you guys in your warm-up to be thinking about your favorite way to incorporate discourse into your classrooms. Now, from a PHS standpoint, we've been focusing a lot on discourse and what that looks like, and how it's different than just, well, I got my kids up and moving and they all spoke to somebody today, but what actual academic student discourse looks like. And Jigsaw, Emily's like amazing rendition of Jigsaw that we're going to talk about today, is just that. It's really pushing that academic conversation. So just on like a general sense, if you are just having your kids share, first of all, it's not a bad thing. That's like you throw a welcome question or a question of the day up on the board, they come in, you say, hey, got 5 minutes, chat, kind of like what you guys were just doing. Not really monitored, really just to kind of get the ideas flowing. If that were to be in a bigger whole class teacher directed sense, that could be me saying like, hey, Cassie, what did you and your group put for question 2? She's responding. We're not really engaging a whole lot more than that. Maybe they did, right, to come to that point, but we're still just kind of sharing out. It's very casual, little to really no stakes, right? Like the bar is kind of on the ground there. When we get to this discourse level, this is your academic, intentional, purposeful conversation with your kids where they are talking about the content, and not just like, hey, did you put A? I did too. Okay, so I was thinking maybe pizza for dinner, which maybe we should think about pizza for dinner. This is that like super specific, intentional time to respond, time to analyze, and time to extend those ideas. And Emily said it really nicely earlier. This isn't just sharing out, well, I think the pink wrapper is the prettiest, but they're coming to a common solution. They're figuring something out together, and they are working together for that common idea.
So we just, because it has a lot of moving pieces, it is helpful to kind of do it yourself, see what you like, what you don't like about it. So first thing that we do is always have students respond to a text, respond to an idea on their own, have them have some processing time. Because nothing is more awkward than whenever you get with a group and you're supposed to read something and you go, do we want to read this together on our own? And then they sit silently trying to go back and forth. And I hate that personally as someone who's a control freak. So on your own, you're going to read each poem. There are 3. They're all about love.
Happy Valentine's
Happy Valentine's
Day.
You're going to read each poem. And then one common strategy I use for kids as they are reading something is to do TQE annotations. That is adding one thought. What is something you noticed for each poem? And why did you notice it? Why did it stick out to you? One question. What was weird? What was confusing? What were you like, why the heck did they do that? How did they do that? How did they come to that idea? I really try and push them to get to how and why questions versus just, what does this word mean? Because they will say, what does this word mean? And I'm like, that word is super easy. That's melancholy. You're fine. You can learn what that is. They don't know what it means. And then epiphanies. You're adding connections between text, between ideas. Do you relate at all to this? Have you seen that in a movie, TV show? Or any answers to previous questions? Go ahead and take about 5 minutes. Read through. We need one thought